Hi guys, Wayne's Butler here. Yeah, I'm still live. I know I haven't done a video in quite some time. Like, geez, I think it was September. But I haven't been out of the game. You guys know I'm still out there. I still leave comments on any videos that I see if I can. So I decided to do this video here just to kind of start the year off. First want to say hope everybody had a good holiday, good new year. Looks like we have a good year coming up. Quarter scale Boba Fett at the end of the year. Topic for another video. Anyways, what I've been doing, I haven't been sitting around on my ass. I've been actually working on a project. I've been collabing with Brian about things that I'm going to be doing here. So I'll first start by telling you what I'm going to be doing. This figure here actually started out like the Scarecrow figure, Indiana Jones, and it's going to be another Bruce Wayne. Unfortunately, yes, it's another Bruce Wayne. It's the only head sculpt that I have, the quarter scale head sculpt that I have. It's going to be a version when he's fighting Liam Neeson on the ice and Begins. I'm going to be doing that diorama, which is going to be something spectacular, at least in my mind it is. So, but I wanted to knock some of these details out just because I was kind of bored, and Brian's going to be painting this head sculpt, and you're probably going to be doing the clothes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's a couple items that I wanted to do, and but Brian will be painting the head sculpt, and I wouldn't trust anybody else to do it, at least not on this side of the pond. I know Steve Morris in the UK, he's another top head painter. The only two guys that I think I could probably trust, but since Brian's already done some work for me, he's going to be doing this one. So what I've done here, like I said, I started out with the Indiana Jones Diamond Select. It has kind of a crappy ab joint up here, just floppy, so I epoxied it, molded it all, made it solid. But basically this isn't going to be strictly an articulated figure. It's what I'm going to be calling a hybrid. It's going to be a cross between a statue and an articulated figure. It's going to have all the articulation, you know, even though I'm going to probably just be posing at once, and you know, that you expect to have, but the head is solid. So I decided what pose it was going to be, and I've recasted this Enter Bay head 3 projects ago. It was the head that I used on my Begins figure, and yeah, I think that's the only time I recasted the Enter Bay one. So I've made a mold of it. I don't know where the mold is right now, but anyways, I made a mold of it and I recasted the head, and I've grafted it on to this body. Now, see if you can give you a closer shot here. So I decided, like I said, I decided what pose it was going to be, and you know, put the head in that position, and I grafted it onto the, hope this is focusing, grafted it onto the body. So like I said, it's a hybrid. So that's that. So that was about a month's work doing that. So when I was done that, I decided, well, we need a quarter scale sword. They don't make them, so I got to make one. Or Brian was going to make one, but I decided that I like to do this kind of thing. I needed something to do. I was kind of bored, so I decided, just was really kind of an experiment one day. So I'm going to play around, see if I can knock out a blade. If I can do this sword, maybe, you know, because that was a big hurdle, was having a sword. Was without the sword, the rest of the figure, you know, basically useless. So what I did is I started out, here's the mold for it. I started out with, I made it out of wood, made the blade out of wood. Really not much to see here, but yes, I could have made it out of metal, but to get a really crisp blade line here, right along here, I don't care how good you are with a file, there's no way you're going to get that dead nut straight. So with wood, there's wiggle room, it's soft, you know, you can easily work with it. So I made all this out of wood. Then I made a mold of it. Here's the mold here. Blade just fits in here like this. Well, if it's casted. Put the mold together. So I basically made a mold of that blade. Take a syringe, injected all these holes. Out pops a resin blade. Now the resin I used was tooling resin, which is really hard resin. I toyed the whole metal thing, making a metal blade around, and the only metal that I can make here in this kitchen is pewter, and pewter is much of its metal, it's too soft. I just don't have the equipment to make a metal blade, like I said, and you're not going to do it with a piece of steel and a file and get it really crisp. So so we did it. So we made the mold. So that's that mold there. I think you can see it. And we casted the blade. And then from that, I took some of this round styrene to make the handle. Painted it all. And this is the end result of that. There's the handle. Hope everything's focusing good. And the blade. I wanted to get that point really precise. Again, you're not going to do that with a file and a piece of metal. Perfectly straight line. Has a bit of flex in it, but like I said, it's tooling resin, so it's really hard and almost indestructible plastic. So anyways, so that was that. So then I also got the sword done. I thought, well, the other hurdle and the most important part next to the sword is the gauntlets. Now, in the perfect world, I could have pulled the gauntlets off the beast and did that, but that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't even going to lift the cape off the arm to see what the gauntlets look like. I wanted to challenge myself. So what I did is I started out with this, the 1/6 scale one, and I traced it. I traced it in that direction, and I traced it in that direction, 2 planes. And then I enlarged what I drew to 1/4 scale, and I cut those 2 planes out with sheet styrene here, and basically made an armature. And from that armature, I filled everything in with, this is actually the master, it doesn't have a hole in it. So I made all that out of epoxy, and then I sanded it. It's probably 90% accurate as far as what I've duplicated to the movie. And then I added strips of styrene here to the body of it. Made the blades. Very, very tedious work. But you're not going to make 2 the same. Sure, I could have taken some more epoxy sculpt and duplicated, but there's no way in a million years I would be able to make 2 of these exactly the same. So the easiest thing to do, and the reason why I didn't bore this out, because it would lock in the mold, but so again, make a mold. Poured up some silicone, and I basically made a mold of this gauntlet. Fits in the mold like that. Made the mold. Here's the other half, goes on top there like that. It's have to hook in here, but you get the point. Goes on there like that. Tape it together. Again, I usually use a syringe to inject all my resin. Put the syringe in here. I took the first one, didn't turn out. Some air pockets in it, so you always learn off the first one what you have to wiggle the mold around and stuff. And open her up. Out pops this thing. I made 2 of them here. It's already painted and ready to go. And then once it's out, because like I said, if I had to try to mold this with the hole in it, would lock in the mold and never get it out. So I bore the hole out after with the Dremel. And then, I mean, this gauntlet is, I've dropped it 100 times. You could drive a car over it. It's basically indestructible. And weathered it up as close as I could to the movie. And then took the hands and put some epoxy sculpt on it to make some gloves out of it, and then basically put the plates on the back of the hand. So that was that. That's done. So we got the 2 gauntlets, the mold for that. That's the end of mold making. And then once I was done that, then we're about Christmas time. So over the holidays, I'm thinking, well, I need something to do. So I decided to tackle the boots. So here's the boots. I'll show you one of them. I actually just finished these today. I'm looking at the bottom half of these boots are from the Indiana Jones. And I'm looking at it thinking, God, I can put laces on that. So I basically made a tracing of the detail on the side here, and then I grinded it all off with a Dremel tool off this boot, and then took that tracing of the boot onto a piece of leather, which is that crap there, and put some eyelets in where the shoelaces go. I know doing this video is kind of silly after the fact. It's like, well, how the hell did you do it? Well, it's extremely tedious to do, but so that's the boot. See, the thing with me doing videos of what I do is mostly every project, like these boots, that gauntlet, I didn't know if I was even going to finish it, because it was all experimentation. First time I've ever sculpted a gauntlet, first time I've ever made these boots, first time I've ever done those hands. So I don't like doing videos unless I can somewhat predict what the outcome will be. And that brings us up to today. So just got off the phone with Brian. He's been getting pics of all this while I've been doing it. And we were talking about this project, and I guess I have to think what I'm going to be doing next. I still have this diorama that I have to get my head around. Yeah, still here. And I think that's about it, guys. That's what I've been doing for the last few months. Sorry I didn't clean up my table. I wasn't expecting company. But this is just how I work. And this video was really just kind of a last minute thing. Like I said, I wanted to put something on my channel to let people know that I'm still alive, for those of you who care. I know this video may not interest everybody, but if anyone gets anything out of it, if you have any questions on anything that I've done here, you guys know that I'm always here to help. And I'm looking around at my junk and I'm thinking, I think that's about it. After a 4 or 5 month hiatus, I'm still here, guys. Wayne's Butler, signing off. Peace and love to all.